Abusia Mame Sama aye akwa abastranko so emfambra POG Media so Mr. Sasa Fee and as well about subscribe like it to Media and share them out for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell no so send away yeah the any news be able to platform no so I want so well no the airco and the air by young court yensem na yemfa in some dodonano and the embrewa ya inim se enche bia nene na nsantema na court order say yenko aye rerun for aye Kpandai constituency no yenko na yenkonkoto aye aban foforo omo hwehwemu a omo ye cross examination ne ehonkro ne ba no nneoma bi anya de entwe na enam sa nneoma we so ensu inti na aye an update bi a every one mo ba aye NDC for omo let me say so omo deputy aye elections chairman your friend Rashid Tanko or the ensem biaba betu jai chese hwe NPP for the no mo ho ose go extensively yes and your manim chese hwe and never be on mo ho ose papa because in some way out dia kokoto no o de kokota koyede because a cross examination no na ye tutu ye omano chese wose okasa akradue in the point be o chese hwe one of a electoral officer no crampo ekade nanko oye de llȧpse eye court watch say enya agro nti o chese you know how they call appeals court no because they don't know what they are doing. So obviously the appeal no enya the enko baby and say allegedly no oye they are na appeal na they call court no they are court no be strike no out I say amano body on one of NPP for so electoral man being so omochihye ho ana chese omudi nkomo yenkoni konkoti
to Rashid Tanko computer make his point. Mr. Tanko, please go ahead.
Well, it's very clear. I am looking at the meat of the matter. You know, when we filed the petition against them, he's talking about 41. Yes, these 41 issues that were raised in December when we started the process, we were telling them that the collation was not properly done. And today, I mentioned to you, when the judge was, we cross-examined the defendants over, and the second respondent happens to be the Electoral Commission. We pointed out to him, could he show us the form of which he did the collation, which is the Form 1C? None. He didn't have it. He didn't just have it. So on what basis did he arrive at Form 1D, the summary sheet? Where did he get it from? If not a crooked electoral officer, how can you collate a resource? You don't have a collation form. The collation form is the aggregation of all the polling stations. The 152 should appear on that form. Then the summaries will now be taken to the Form 1D, of which you use it to declare. They don't have it. Nothing of that sort was that. And you call this one elections? I'm not surprised NPP, that's how they do elections. You remember the episode of 2020? They did similar thing in Zabzuku. They just brought themselves to Tamale and declared themselves winners. That has been their modus operandi. But this time, we stood firm and said, no way, we won't accept this. And I'm not surprised the judge ruled. And in any case, my brother, they've spoken about, they've gone for appeal and still execution. Have they even gone to look at the reasoning behind the ruling? The judge just said our petition was upheld and that the reasoning will be given to us on Friday. You have not even seen it and you've gone to file for appeal. What are you appealing for?
Rashid,
you see how they are. You see how interesting the NPP can be.
Rashid, let me come in at this point. You mentioned that the Electoral Commission is incompetent. The Electoral Commission that supervised that election is incompetent. But per this judge's ruling, that is the same Electoral Commission that is going to supervise this election as well. Do you now have trust in the EC?
We are saying that the officer who conducted the election, the electoral officer there, was compromised and he did a very bad job.
Do you have any evidence to that effect?
Other evidence is why they have ruled against him. That's why they asked that he should go and rerun the election. That's the evidence. If he hadn't produced the evidence, could have the judge has stopped him. That's why the judge said you should go back and rerun the election. He gave 30 days because he saw that the officer didn't do his job. He did a very bad job.
You make the allegation that he was compromised. By who?
But the NPP, of course, they are the beneficiary of his compromise. Wasn't it the people that he brought them to Tamale and declared them winners? At the time he was declaring them winners, did you see any LDC person around that?
Let me bring in Mr. Evans Nimako in at this point. Mr. Nimako, like I mentioned, I'll give you the opportunity to respond, and this is it. There's been several accusations that your opponent from the NDC is making. He says that the electoral officer who supervised that election was compromised by the NPP. Is that really the case?
I think once again, this is a baseless accusation. He won't have any basis, any evidence to support this needless submission on a big platform like this. You see, the NDC, this same incompetent electoral commission declared for them the presidential results. And today, they sit as the government in power. This same incompetent NDC were induced by the New Patriotic Party and got NDC majority in parliament. The irony of it. I mean, and you see, when you're having such serious conversation, you don't bring in computer. Excuse me. We are talking of a situation where a petitioner has gone to court that in 152 polling stations, there were infractions in 41. A court with the justice says that I am ordering that a new election be conducted for all the 152 and says that my ruling will be ready on Friday. So please, and you're saying that we should sit, we cannot file anything at the court to demand what is rightful of us? Excuse me, but I'm saying that the New Patriotic Party were giving copies in each polling station. The results so announced by the presiding officers, 157. NDC were giving same copies of polling station by polling station results. Ask him whether the High Court judge took the pain to audit all the 152 polling station results before he gave out a ruling that is going to come out in writing on Friday.
Mr. Nimako,
I don't think this is the way. I don't think this is the way we should allow our democracy to travel. I don't think so. We've made huge gains, and this is not the way we must allow it to go.
Are you then suggesting that the judge should have rather ruled that the 41 polling stations which was sent to court where the NDC said there were infractions, elections should have been rerun in only those 41 polling stations and not the entire constituency? Is that what you're looking to suggest?
You would need to look at the merits of the issues brought before you. That a petitioner says 41, and you want to extend it to all the 152. What is the basis for that judgment? Did the justice take the pain to go through all these 152 polling station results? Is that what happened? And we today is just Monday. We went through a weekend. A justice coming to read his judgment says, today I make a pronouncement. My ruling is not ready until Friday.
Mr. Nimako, I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Rashid Tanko, Computer. Mr. Computer, there have been accusations. People are reading a lot of meanings into this ruling. Like on social media over the weekend, there were people who were all over social media saying that there is an impending by-election at Kpandai even before this ruling came out. Is that to suggest that the NDC probably knew the possible outcome of this ruling? That is why most of your communicators started jubilating even before the judge made the pronouncement?
Look, we have been appearing before the judge. We have been cross-examining the first respondent and the second respondent.
Okay.
Both the NPP and then the Electoral Commission. We have cross-examined them severally. Evidence has been adduced. And it was very clear that they are in big trouble. In fact, the electoral officer himself, in one point, nearly collapsed because when he was being cross-examined, he brought some videos, and when he was cross-examined about the video himself, he himself was panting. He saw that very clear that he has messed up himself, and I'm sure somebody messed him up. He thought he could be protected by then administration, because clearly the evidence was so clear that he didn't do any collation. You cannot declare results when you don't collate it. My good friend is talking of pink sheets, and pink sheets. The fact that you have been given pink sheets, if those pink sheets are not collated, no results is declared. That's why we normally have collation centers. So when you are given pink sheets, the onus lie on the electoral officer to now make sure the returning officer put the results together. From 1C, ask him, where is that from 1C? He's talking of results. We brought the 41 as evidence to show that none of this was done. And that even at the time they ran away from Kpandai, the man did not collect any results. And then so it cannot be the case that he should be ruling on the only 41. He is going to rule based on all of them because they didn't collect any results whatsoever. They only concocted results internally here and put it on the summary sheet and announced Nyindam as the winner. That was very bad. That would have been a travesty of justice against the people of Kpandai, and that's why we stop it. And that's why we made sure that it was stopped. So as to people announcing that there was a looming by-election and all that, they were following the court proceedings.
Yeah, but those people are not lawyers to jump into conclusion. They're not judges or lawyers to start jubilating before pronouncement of a judgment is made.
My brother, is it the first time pronouncement has been made and judgment tend to be different altogether? We saw it in this country severally. People started jubilating, and then the court ruling came out and looked different. That cannot be a basis. The one we are saying that we were very sure in our mind and clear that we have done our homework where we have presented enough evidence to convince the judge that there was no collation. The election was not properly conducted, and that the officer involved was properly compromised. Because that is not how the CI says you should conduct election for parliamentary elections. It's very clear. And my friend Evans is very much aware of that. That anytime we go for election, when it comes to parliamentary, we go in for two forms. From 1C and from 1B. You are not my friend anymore. You are not my friend anymore. Don't worry. Let's meet at Kpandai for a by-election. We'll slug it out over there because we need that seat.
Rashid, your friend Evans sought to suggest that, if anything, the rerun should have happened in the 41 polling stations that, your candidate sent to court. We've seen something like that happen in other constituencies where particular polling stations, reruns were held there. The Akroma North, for instance, which is very fresh in our minds. Don't you think that would have been a fair thing to do?
No, it wasn't only the 41 that had the problem. The 41 were just evidence to show that the man didn't do his work. It was just evidence. We're just adducing evidence with the 41, saying that, look at this 41 police station. Look at how the man handled it and all these things. He didn't do anything. He just decided that he wanted Nyindam to be an MP, and that was it. Evans. And so our evidence was watertight, and that is why. So my brother Evans, let's allow sleeping dogs to lie and go and do the by-election.
Evans,
let's go and face each other over there.
Mr. Tanko, I'll come back to you. But Evans, the judge says there's a 30-day window for a by-election to happen. Is the NPP going to participate in that impending by-election?
Thank you. I think our legal team is taking the necessary step within the constitutional arrangement to ensure that what belongs to us is never taken away, as it happened in the case of Akroma North. I hope you quite remember that when the moment the New Patriotic Party conceded the presidential results, the NDC hooligans started attacking collation centers.
Right.
And you see, Kenneth, I've said that This same corrupt, incompetent EC declared the NDC victors for the election in the Kpandai constituency. The same returning officer declared the presidential results. Why was he not in the same position to declare the parliamentary in the same constituency? Because you, the NDC, took the decision to attack all coalition centers. And the man, with the advice from the Election Security Task Force, moved from Kpandai to Tamale, and this wouldn't have been the first time, and declared the results based on polling station by polling station results. So yes, a certain High Court judge has made a pronouncement. The New Patriotic Party is going to challenge it. Mind, we are law-abiding. We won't do anything untoward, but we will not allow our victory to be taken away from us, not in Kpandai constituency. This is not going to happen.
You're going to challenge it indeed, as you've made known, but is it going to be the case that you are still going to contest in the by-election? That's what I want to know.
There's not going to be any by-election.
Why? That's what the judge has said.
The pronouncement of the judge is not final.
Okay.
I told you, when it comes to parliamentary petition, it terminates at the Court of Appeal. We are High Court. Why do you think that is the final ruling of the justices? Why? No, we are not there yet at all.
Okay.
We are not there.
Tago Computer, you've been listening in. Evans has made the point that this same presiding officer from the Electoral Commission, who you accuse of being incompetent, declared victory for John Dramani Mahama in last year's election. Why didn't you question that? And you're questioning the one that he declared victory for the NPP candidate in the Kpandai constituency. Again, let's begin from the northern region, where the Tamale High Court, presided over by Justice Emmanuel Brew Plange, has announced the parliamentary election results for the Kpandai constituency and ordered a fresh poll within 30 days following a successful legal challenge. Well, the petition was filed by NDC candidate Daniel C0llȧpse, who claimed that the December 7th election was tainted by serious irregularities. He argued or alleged inconsistencies in Form 8A, the pink sheet, from 41 polling stations out of the total 152 polling stations, arguing that these breaches violated Regulations 39 and 43 of the Public Elections Regulations, CI 127. In its ruling, the court agreed that non-compliance with electoral regulations materially affected the integrity of the vote. It has accordingly ordered the Electoral Commission to conduct a rerun of the parliamentary election in the entire constituency. In his judgment, Justice Plange intervened decisively, demanding that the EC restore credibility by organizing a transparent repoll. Here is a lawyer for the petitioner, NDC's candidate Daniel C0llȧpse, and Rashid Tanko Computer, who is the Deputy Director of Elections for the governing NDC.
We must say that we are grateful to the court. We are grateful to counsel who assisted. As I introduced them, myself, Councillor Musa Mohammed, we had Eugene Aweti, we had George Adagbaja, and among others. For us, our case before the court was very simple. We had a rogue Electoral Commission district electoral officer who decided to abuse discretion. Now, what is important, and why this case is significant, is that at every district election collation center, there are certain rights that are preserved for the candidates. Now, when the polling station closes, you move to the district collation center, and that's the parliamentary collation center, and certain things can be done there, including asking for a recount of even the polling station. Now, when you say that the disturbances at the collation center, the law is clear that you either adjourn it to the next day or you can adjourn it even for a week.
For having done justice to the good people of Kpandai. All along, the NDC has been saying that there are several crooked electoral officers who are bent on stealing people's mandate. And one of these is what has been exposed today. We said it time and again that the seat of Kpandai was the seat for the NDC. They rigged the election, and we've been saying it time and again that we will continue to expose crooked electoral officers who will continue to rig election. We will stop them. We will make sure that the NDC will prevent such rigging machinery of the then NPP and their crooked collaborators in the Electoral Commission. Clearly, the CI 127, if you look at Regulation 43, 1A up to H, spell out how collation of parliamentary election is done. You collate results based on two forms. We have from 1C and then from 1D. You assemble the results from 1C and then put the summaries on from 1D and declare the results.
Meanwhile, the sitting member of parliament for Kpandai, Matthew Nyindam of the New Patriotic Party, who was declared the winner in the December vote, and his lawyer, Sylvester Isang, say though they disagree with the decision, they will respect the court. They have filed for an appeal and stay of execution.
The heat up to the trial, we heard of several things, and we didn't take them for granted. We believe that the petition was frivolous, but the court has decided otherwise. So we
subscribe na like and some no na share jumedi no na ema afoforo enso ensa nyere nka be kindly click on the notification bell no so send be the news be to platform so a onso wo hunu the airco and the airba yanko jumedi no so na yem find some dodo na no embre eche.
respect the decision of the court, but we strongly disagree with the judgment, and we have already shown our aggrievement by filing a competent notice of appeal, and we've added a motion for stay of execution. As a lawyer, if you are picked certain information that judgment will be compromised, you prepare. So you come for the judgment with a notice of appeal in your pocket. And that was exactly what I did. And I had a section of my client that he should be bold, whatever decision that is affirmed, because we knew that was what was going to happen. So it's not even surprising at all. And so the only fight left for us is to follow the due process of the law. And that is by filing a notice of appeal.
I want to put it on record that I'm still their MP. Although, like the lawyer said, we were in court. And before we came to court, I can say for sure that for about a week, we knew that things were not going to be right. Our opponents were jubilating. They were saying all manner of things in Kpandai. And they were too sure that this is the judgment they were going to get. But as law-abiding citizens, I want to put on record that, yes, we respect what the judge has said. We vehemently disagree with him. I know that I won the election with a difference of 3,734. That is a clear victory. And if you look at the pink sheets, it's on record that they've admitted that every single pink sheet was given to all the political parties. I have my 152 pink sheets. They have their 152 pink sheets. And if you put the results together, we have won the elections. For some reasons, powers that may be, they decided to come to courts, and knowing very well that maybe they'll be able to use the state's powers to overturn certain things. But I think that we are in a country that is governed by laws.
Well, let's have a conversation on the back of this and go on to Zoom now and speak to Director of Elections and Research at the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimako, as well as the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Let me start with you, Evans. Your side says it disagrees with the court's decision. Tell us why.
Having me. Definitely, this cannot be a ruling that you expect that the New Patriotic Party will say it's a welcoming decision from a competent court of jurisdiction. For me, this is a dangerous ruling. The intent is to erode all the political and democratic gains we've made as a country. A petitioner comes to court with a plea that in 41 polling stations out of 152, there have been some infractions. And you then gave a ruling that assuming or that admitting that, yes, the 41 there were issues. 111 of them where there were no issues. The New Patriotic Party should admit that we go back to these polling stations and conduct another elections. What kind of dangerous ruling is this? What do they seek to achieve? It's the constituency that the party won with almost 4,000 difference. 53.47% of parliamentary votes. And you are telling me that you, the judge, will go beyond the plea of the petitioner. I don't think this is the way to go. And if the NDC think that they can bully their way in Kpandai, they must revise their notes. I've heard the young man, Rashid Tanko, speaking all over. This is not an ordinary issue. The New Patriotic Party has been very law-abiding. We will continue to respect decisions of the court. But you know, this is a petition and it will not end here. Parliamentary resource petition terminates at the Court of Appeal. There are issues we've raised. In fact, the lawyers have filed stay. We are going to go beyond this. And so we'll see how it plays out.
Evans, I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Rashid Tanko Computer at this point. Rashid, grateful for your time this afternoon. Your party has been jubilating after this ruling, but your opponent from the NPP says that he disagrees with the ruling. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, justice has been done with the good people of Kpandai today. I mean, they didn't vote for NPP. They actually voted for NDC, but their verdict was stolen by crooked electoral officers who collaborated with NPP to rig the elections. I mean, it was very clear. I thought my good friend Evans would have gone down, memorizing.
I think your platform is so big, you don't have to allow Rashid Tanko to be spinning out lies. I mean, this is not the way to go.
Evans, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that. If you can kindly hold on for me to listen.
Any idea something to see and then subscribe, like it to you and share them for friends and can be kindly click on the notification bell so send away the news be at a platform so I also the echo and the POG Media anymore Akroma.